It's all about humanity.
Hey everybody, it's me Namaisa, and today I'm coming to you with another video. I'm doing 2 tutorials for you today. So I was inspired by a look Lizzo was wearing. I was flipping through my Instagram, feed, and I saw Lizzo, boom, shebang, pop up in my Instagram feed, and it was this really beautiful, cute makeup look, like really colorful. I believe it was for Indy Pride, and I thought, why not recreate it, but also do an inspired look at the same time, and a drag one at that. Because, it's for Pride, drag queens. I mean, do I need to say more? So if you want to know how I did this look, then you know what you gotta do. To start out, I already primed my eye area with my Urban Decay Original Primer Potion. Then I'm taking this shade of the Queen of Hearts palette by Colored Rain. It's called Royal Prerogative. So with a taper blending brush, I'm blending that with windshield wiper motions and also circular motions throughout my crease. Then of the same palette, I'm using the shade called Air. And with that same brush, I'm applying that on my brow bone. And this is going to be my brow bone highlight. I'm also blending that a little bit on the edge of that previous eyeshadow to create a seamless blend. Then on the outer part of my crease, I'm going to apply the shade called Empress, and I'm also blending that a little bit into Royal Prerogative, just again to create a seamless blend. I don't want any harsh lines. Now I'm taking Sugarpill's Poison Plum eyeshadow and a Nancy brush, and I'm applying that on the outer part of my crease and lid and lower lash line. And I'm kind of blending that eyeshadow out into a wing shape to give myself a little bit more of a cat eye feel. Now I'm taking MAC's Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC20, and I'm going to use this to cut my crease. And then on my lid, I'm kind of cutting the lid shape into a half circle. I saw that when Lizzo closed her eyes, she did have a little bit of a cut crease kind of action going on, so I decided to recreate that on myself as well. Then next, I'm going to blend Sugarpill's Butter Cupcake, Flame Point, and Love Plus into each other, kind of like a sunset vibe. So I'm starting out with yellow, then orange, and then of course, red. Now I'm taking Unicorn Cosmetics Neon Yellow Pigment, and I'm applying that on my tear duct area to give a little bit more of a pop to that yellow, just to brighten it up a little bit more. And I'm using a Nancy pencil brush to do so. Now I'm taking Sugarpill's Kimchi eyeshadow, and I'm applying that on the center of my lower lash line. And then I'm blending that a little bit into Poison Plum. Then I'm taking another Unicorn Cosmetics Neon Pigment. This one is the green one, and I'm applying that on the lower part of my tear duct area. And then of course I'm also blending that into Kimchi eyeshadow. I saw that Lizzo had a little bit of an eyeliner going on, so I'm using the NYX Cosmetics Epic Ink Liner in black, and I'm just following the shape of my top lash line. So the band of the lashes that I'm going to apply will be nicely hidden. And the 2 pairs of lashes that I'm gonna stack are by Colored Rain. These are the Diamond Status and She's Fancy lashes. For my foundation, I'm using the NYX Cosmetics Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil in Nutmeg Sienna, and I'm applying that all over my face. I love this foundation, by the way. And I'm using a Unicorn Cosmetics base, foundation brush to blend that in. And then I'm using this Graftobian Cream Makeup to contour my nose. I'm not sure which shade it is because the sticker came off, but if I do happen to find it, I will leave the information below in the information box. And then for my concealers, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape concealers in medium and deep, and I'm going to use medium not only to highlight underneath my eyes and on the bridge of my nose, but also to kind of correct that nose contour. And then with deep, I'm going to cover the blemishes that I have on my chin area and a little bit on my cheekbones, just to give myself a little extra coverage. And then to set my face, I'm using the Makeup Studio, the banana powder, but also the translucent setting powder. Obviously, you don't have to go ham with the setting powders like I do. This is just what works for me. But when it comes to setting your skin, do whatever you feel comfortable with. Then to contour myself a little bit more, I'm using the NYX Cosmetics 3 Steps to Sculpt Trio in medium to bring back some definition and some warmth. For my blush, I'm using the MAC Mineralized Blush in Gentle, and I'm applying that on the apples of my cheeks, and I'm applying quite a lot because in the reference photo that I have, Lizzo is wearing quite a lot of blush, so I'm going for it. And then to highlight myself, I'm using the Makeup Studio highlighter palette in Peach Fusion, and I'm applying that on my cheekbones and a little bit on the tip of my nose. Then for my lips, I'm going to use the Colored Rain Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Mocha. And I'm lining my lips with that. And then on the center of my lips, I'm applying the NYX Cosmetics Lip Lingerie Glitter Gloss in the shade Clear. And just to let you know, I also dotted a little bit of red lipstick on the center of my lips just to give it a little bit more color. Okay, so for this part of the tutorial, as you can see, I already covered my original brow and drew them back on. I have a separate video on how I do that. I will list it below in the information box and somewhere here in the screen. Now to prime my eyelid, I first applied the Urban Decay Original Primer Potion. It's going to help prevent my eyeshadows from creasing because I do have oily lids. And then for my second base, I used this concealer right here. It's by MAC. It's the Pro Longwear Concealer in, let's see, NC20. So just a really, really light concealer. And I applied that all over my eye area and on the fake brow bone and underneath my lower lash line. This is going to help the eyeshadows pop a lot more. So obviously I'm still inspired by Lizzo's look. It's a lot different because it's drag. But, you know, I'm still using the same colors. So that is why it's not a recreation this time, but it's inspired. It's not an exact copy of the original look. So the first couple of shadows I'm going to use are by Sugar Pill, duh. I'm using Love Plus on the inner part of my crease. Flame Point on the outer part of my crease. And then I'm going to use Buttercup Cake as a brow bone highlight. Going to apply that right underneath my brow or right underneath the arch of my brow and then blend that together with Flame Point. Also going to use this eyeshadow right here. It's called Poison Plum and I'm going to apply that on the outer part of my eye. So I guess on the outer part of my crease and a little bit underneath my lower lash line and blend that into Flame Point. Then to cut my crease, I'm going to use that same Pro Longwear concealer I used for my base and this flat concealer brush by Colored Rain. And just take your time and don't forget this is a drag look, so really go above your crease. Now that I've cut the crease, I'm going to use this pigment by Unicorn Cosmetics. It's the Neon Yellow pigment, and I'm going to apply that on the inner and outer part of my eye, or of the cut crease. And to kind of create a gradient effect, I'm using another pigment by Unicorn Cosmetics. This is the Neon Orange pigment. And I'm applying that on the inner part again and on the outer part. And then blend that into that neon yellow. Now as you can see, I left some space open on the center of my newly created lid. Now what I'm going to do is apply this eyeshadow right here. It's called Gleam. You can find it in the Label UK Magnifique eyeshadow palette. So this one right here. Now to finish up the lower lash line, I'm going to use this eyeshadow right here called Kimchi, of course also by Sugar Pill. And then on the inner part or near my tear duct, so right over here, I'm using another Unicorn Cosmetics pigment. This one is neon green. And then with another pencil brush, I'm just going to apply that on my tear duct and then blend that into Kimchi eyeshadow. So again, to create a gradient effect. And now I'm taking the NYX Cosmetics Epic Ink Liner and I'm just going to create a thick winged eyeliner, or kind of a cat winged eyeliner. So I'm not just going to create a winged eyeliner, but I'm also creating just a little wing on my tear duct area. And then last but not least, I'm going to apply this 25mm false eyelash by Diva's Empire. And to all the drag queens out there, I'm sorry. I don't stack like 10 pairs of lashes. I want to, but I just feel like it doesn't look good on me. I'm sorry, don't kill me. So now I'm gonna move on to the rest of my face. To prime it, I'm going to use the NYX Cosmetics Hydrating Jelly Primer. It's of their Bear With Me collection. I really like this primer. I totally understand why a lot of people rave about this, especially in combination with the foundations, which I will be using today as well. I don't think you can see it, but it's a proper jelly consistency. Like one of those Jello, you know, desserts or candies, like Jello shots, I believe. That's what it feels like. And what it does is actually minimize the appearance of pores. And in combination with the foundation of that same line, it looks very beautiful and natural. Now, okay, I'm doing a drag makeup look right now. That's why I'm going to use it in combination with different products. I'm a woman, so my skin is different from, let's say, a traditional drag queen, you know, where a man dresses up as a woman or creates the illusion of a woman. I don't have to conceal beard shadow, you know, a 5 o'clock shadow. I don't have to go in full crazy full coverage. Even though I'm gonna go full coverage, it's just not the same as an actual drag queen. Now that I've laid down that primer, it's, you know, a little sticky, so the foundation is going to adhere to it very nicely. So for the first foundation that I'm going to use a mixture of these two shades. This one right here is Nutmeg Sienna and then Golden Camel. These are the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil foundations. And after that, I'm going to use a little bit of the Makeup Studio No Transfer Liquid Foundation. And this is in the shade Olive Tan. Just to give myself a little bit more coverage in the areas where I feel like I need to. So I'm going to apply the foundation with this Unicorn Cosmetics foundation brush. Like so. I'm gonna buff that into my skin. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of that Makeup Studio foundation, like so. And with that same brush, I'm going to buff that in the areas where I need just a little bit more coverage. In these areas, I used to have a lot, and I mean a lot of acne. And to highlight, I'm actually going to use this concealer. It's by Tarte. It's the Shape Tape Concealer in medium. And I'm going to apply that right underneath my eyes and on the bridge of my nose. Also with drag makeup, always contour and highlight suited to your face shape and to your liking. Don't just mimic me, you know, trial and error. Try to find out what looks best on you and what you think looks best on you. That's most important. Now I'm going to set the foundation and the concealer with the Makeup Studio translucent setting powder. I'm gonna go completely crazy with the setting powder to make it last all night. We just had a power outage. Thank God it was fixed within like 10 to 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I started filming my contour in the living room with Robin holding our phones as lights. I used this NYX Cosmetics 3 Steps to Sculpt sculpting trio in medium, and I used this shade right here. And then I started with my nose. So for my nose, I first used this Kryolan TV paint stick in the shade G165. And with this tiny pencil brush by Nancy, I drew a line on my nose, like so, and just a little dot. Yes, I do like to use creams on top of, you know, set foundation. I have no problem with that. It works just fine for me. If you want to do this beforehand, before you set your foundation, you can do that as well. I'm just telling you what I did. Then I took a little bit of my setting powder and, you know, set my nose so that it's all locked and set in place. And now we're at the current step. I'm taking another NYX Cosmetics 3 Steps to Sculpt trio. This one is called Light. And I'm using this shade right here and this flat Delium Tools brush. I believe it's the 714. I applied lines to the sides of that highlight area and also underneath that dot that I drew to make my nose look more pointy. I can't do a drag look without contouring my nose. So that's what I've done so far. So just a line right next to that contour, and then softly blend that out downwards or sideways, like so. Because I want to make it look as if my nose is pointing up a little bit more. I'm also going to apply a little bit of that darker contour shade right here, just to give the appearance that my nose holes are a little bit bigger than they are, giving more that illusion of a tilted up nose. Then to highlight my nose even more, I'm taking this Galactic Face Glow in the shade called Bronze. Taking a little bit of that product and I'm applying that on the fake tip. And then for my lips, I'm going to use these Colored Rain liquid lipsticks, matte liquid lipsticks, in the shade Mocha and Whatever. No, Whatever. So because this is a drag look, I'm going to overdraw my lips quite a bit. I want big, fishy lips, a really skinty nose, big, you know, cunty eyes. I want the whole illusion, I want the whole fantasy. So I'm going to line my lips with Mocha first. For my highlighter, I'm going to use this Colored Rain Vocal Point Glow Lighter in the shade Treat Yourself. And I'm going to apply that on the highest point of my cheekbone. And there we go. That is it for the drag part. I think I may want to change something up, but if I do, I'll let you know what I did and you'll probably see it. But yeah, this is my drag version of the Lizzo beat. I've always wanted to try face tapes, but just, I never think about it. Like, it would totally give me a lift like this. And then with some black face paint, I decided to paint the perimeter of my face, my neck and my upper chest, just to give it kind of a S&M type of look, you know what I mean? Just, I also wanted to change up my face shape pretty much. So yeah, that is the final part of this tutorial. And that was it for the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, or tutorials actually. So yeah, I thought I would give you two looks in one and talk about the difference between a recreation and inspired. I've been seeing this going around on social media a lot, where artists say, oh, this is inspired by, but basically it is a recreation of someone else's work. And you know, credit where credit is due. It doesn't harm your talent, it doesn't harm your skill, or it doesn't harm your personality. Actually, it does the opposite of that. Let me know if you want to see more drag looks, because I love doing drag makeup, if you hadn't noticed by now. Let me know what you think. If you want to follow me on my social media pages, then all you have to do is type in MakeupByNamaisa on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you know whenever I'm uploading a new video. Thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video. Bye!